Hello and welcome to the 8th episode of Brief Departure, the podcast that bridges the gap between the voters and the candidate nearing our election season. We're here to give you an in-depth look of her personal life, her vision, and in order to reshape our college.
That's right. No posters, no slogans, no campaigning, just straight up real, pure conversations to help you guys make an informed decision when election day arrives.
I'm Muish, joined by my co-host Manjik, and this is everything that you need to know to get up to speed on Lubna! Welcome to the show!
Hi, thank you for having me.
Pleasure.
How are you feeling right now?
I'm feeling I'm still a bit starstruck. Like I came into the counseling room and there's this like big fancy setup of lights.
It's not fancy, right? It's not fancy.
It's so good. I'm still kind of reeling into the news. I remember one of you reached out to me through text about it, and at first I was like, "Is this a prank? Is this a joke?" But
To be fair,
yeah. But I think this is a really good initiative that you guys are taking, and I think the motive behind this initiative, it makes sense. And I appreciate this effort of trying to bridge the gap between the
Yes, bridges the gap.
That's always.
Thank you. So, an obligation question.
I mean, like, she already addressed the question, didn't she?
Oh, yeah, she was first.
But as always, I think we should proceed as normally. The first question that we ask to all candidates: how exactly did you feel when we first reached out to you to join this podcast?
Like I mentioned earlier.
So dia cakap tadi lah.
Yelah.
Like I mentioned earlier, I initially thought it was a prank. But then you sent that PDF and
Looks legit lah.
okay, credibility. I was initially shocked. Like, I've never done something like this before. Like actually being sat down and like being interviewed, being asked about my goals and aspirations. So I was shocked, but in a way I was also honoured because oh wow, like you're actually like making an effort to get to know me as a person and to like you guys are kind of like my second campaign manager after my friends are there. Yeah, so thank you for that. Thank you for reaching out.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you for coming actually.
So, let's get on into it. Let's start with a little background. So, can you tell us about yourself and what inspired you to run for the president?
Okay, so my name is Lubna binti Muhammad SHARIF. I originally, before I came to KY, I was from SMK Convent Bukit Nanas. So I'm from KL.
Okay.
And now I'm in KY.
I mean, like your past experience in like maybe leadership or position. I see. Yeah.
Okay. Past experiences in leadership. I don't know if this is a bit of a stretch, but when I was in CBN 1, I was actually from CBN for 11 straight years. Because we have a Sekolah Rendah, we have a Sekolah Menengah.
Oh, okay.
So I've been like on that pineapple hill.
Oh, yeah.
Since I was 7. When I was in SKCBN 1, I was captain, I was head girl. And then when I moved up to SKCBN 1, that was like, I was in a multitude of things because I like to keep myself active. And a lot of the things that I kept myself active in is actually our school's niche, which is English. Yeah. So I think it started in Form 3, end of Form 3, I became a prefect. And I was also spearheading a lot of things. So I spearheaded our school's drama team, I spearheaded our school's choral team. And then I also got myself involved in a lot of competitions where I spearheaded them as well. In Form 5 I think it was really when I truly found my passion for leadership and for writing. So in Form 5, I was elected as the editor-in-chief of my school magazine.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And I was also a co-founder of our school's very first zine. Yeah.
Zine.
So a zine is, I get so excited when I explain this to people. So a zine is like a mini magazine.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's like this compact version of what you would find in the magazine, just more compacted. And that it was really lucrative, I would say, when we sold it to like students in our school, because it was compact, it was portable, so it was easy to carry around, and it was also very pretty. Like we had a graphic design team who worked overtime to actually make our issues look really nice and presentable. So people would collect issues every month.
Oh, is it monthly
And-
magazine?
Yeah, it's a magazine, and they would start a collection. Yeah, and I would say the best outcome to that project, other than getting really close to my best friends today, is starting a legacy.
Ooh,
Yeah, so
I
it was
see.
kind of like starting a new thing, a new club in my school, and now it's like being continued by my juniors and whatnot, and it's established. Now it's a body under.
Oh, that's very good.
Yeah.
So like, it's a short. You shorten the word magazine so it comes in just like that, right?
Yeah.
So you may compare like how small it is.
Our issues were A5 size.
A5.
Yeah.
Oh.
But they were kind of hard. Dia macam tebal lah. Dia macam nak cakap Manila cut, tak adalah setebal Manila cut. Tapi it wasn't flimsy lah. It wasn't like paper.
Usually, what is the content dalam magazine tu?
The content, we had a news in Malaysia, news out
Okay,
Malaysia. We had a column specifically where students can sort of submit their works, their poetry and whatnot. We also had a game section, and then we had a section where we highlighted a really exceptional student in the school. Yeah, so. But then like it was also subject to availability and subject to demand. Sometimes if it's a special issue, like if it was an issue published during exam season, we would have tips on how to ace your exam.
I see.
So this started when you were Form 5.
Yes,
I
my
see.
friends and I started it together.
So you started being a prefect back in Form 3, right?
Yes.
So what exactly pushed you to become a prefect? Were you elected or did you like apply for it?
It was a very tedious process actually, because it was right post-COVID.
Yeah, around that time.
So there was still very strict limitations and like SOPs that everyone had to follow. So I think I was pretty lucky because my school was more focused on the SOPs rather than the prefect handling. But it just, in a way, it made the selection process more tedious because our job as prefects was to actually impose those SOPs onto the students. Yeah, so they were really careful with that. What inspired me to be a prefect? I think people really have this like distorted perception of prefects, right?
Yeah.
Like people, like if you say you're a prefect, you're like, oh, okay, like narc. Like narc. People assume you're a teacher's pet. People assume you're like this, like bootlicker. People assume you're just like bootlicker. But I wanted to show my peers and my juniors that you can be a prefect and still have a social life. You can be a prefect and still not succumb to these like stereotypes. And I think just like bridging the gap between my admin and my peers was what I wanted to do, because at one point there was this huge segregation between prefects and normal students, and I was like, no, there cannot be this gap if you want there to be communication, you know? Yeah, so I think that was one of my main goals and what drove me to really push for that prefect position. Yeah.
That's very good.
Okay. So being a prefect during Form 3, was there any challenges trying to enforce these SOP or any other rules, especially to seniors who are in Form 4 and Form 5?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Like definitely. I think especially to the seniors, I think there were certain seniors who, like sort of age factor, right? When you are older than someone, you immediately assume that you have this superiority.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think that was sort of a really hard thing to tackle. And another challenge, I think, was enforcing the SOPs themselves, because not everyone will listen to you when you enforce these SOPs. But I think just being... Sorry. I think just being...
Cannot control that, actually.
Come on.
I don't know.
I think just like, as long as you're approachable and you're not mean about it, people will listen.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. So that is how I like tackled that challenge.
It's very good. So aside from being a prefect, you also said that you were in the drama club, right?
Yeah.
Which is like very rare for like especially for like
In our school, we don't have
yes,
any drama clubs. Yeah.
no acting. So like, can you tell us a bit about that club and your experience being in it?
Okay. So it wasn't a club.
Oh, it was a club.
Yeah, it wasn't a club. But SMK Convo Bukit Nanas, our niche is language. Our niche is English. Yeah, so naturally we are involved in a lot of English based competitions.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think English drama is one that we are good at. And we always make it to like the list of finalists every year.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I was really lucky because I had seniors above me who actually taught me how to direct, who taught me how to write a play, who taught me how to cast the right people. Yeah, so with their guidance and with my, I would say, creative choices that I didn't make alone. A lot of, I like to say that everything I do is a team effort.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. So with the help of my team and we managed to write this play. Oh, it was such a cool play. It was a play about, so we took like cerita dongeng, like hang tua,
Yeah.
and we spinned it into this like spy thriller.
Ooh, sounds interesting.
Yeah. And because our school was from an all-girls school, right? We based our characters off of popular female like dongeng characters. Masuri,
true.
Fatima, Dang Anum. Yeah, and it was so cool. I think we got to every year CBN has an inter-class drama competition, and my class won. And then that play was taken to. We were chosen to represent CBN in peringkat negeri for the drama competition, and we got second.
Oh, congrats.
Thank
That's
you.
actually very good.
Especially boleh habis ketuan tu.
Yang KL lah.
KL.
Oh, good.
The pool that is very competitive, you know.
There were a lot of school competing in that competition.
Oh yeah, and they were really, really good schools too.
Yeah.
It's like schools like VI, St. John, St. Mary, crazy SBU, SBU as well. Like I think it was luck lah.
I know lah. Do you perhaps have the recording, or like is it uploaded on YouTube?
I think I have it in a Google Drive somewhere.
Oh, that's
You can
interesting.
share the link in the description.
We'll see.
We'll see.
So, do you have any vivid memory about being a prefect that made you like, oh, this is why I became a prefect?
I think, honestly, just celebrations in school in general. Like for CBN at least, the prefectorial board would be in charge of handling events like Hari Raya, Chinese New Year, things like that. And when I see like both prefects and students sort of get together, there is no prefect-student segregation in these celebrations. Everyone sings together, everyone eats together, everyone laughs together, and it's moments like these, like wow, it is possible for both parties to reconnect and reconvene, and with no like hatred or like this distorted perception of I think that's really when I'm like, maybe I do like being a prefect. Like,
Was the problem of separation or the segregation of prefects and normal students a problem before?
Kind of, yeah. I think because of COVID, right? Like there was only 2 years. There was 2 years of online learning, so there was actually no proper way that the students and the prefects can interact. So when school reopened after COVID ended, it was just like this new body of students who we didn't know. And then like also the Form 1s were new, the Form 2s were new. And so I think that's when the tension began to arise, and then this sort of perception began. Yeah, and so my batch's goal was to sort of prevent this thing from continuing, because there are students who are prefects, but last step down juga. SPM step down juga. Ambil blazer off, semua pakai pinafore, semua pakai baju kurung, right? Yeah, so it's things like that.
I see.
So I would like to focus more on your leadership experience. Was there any like particular event or experience that we would say helped shape the character that you are today?
Particular event or experience? I think what I did as editor-in-chief of my magazine was really what truly shaped me. When I was editor-in-chief, there was a lot of liaising with the admin and the students, because I have to talk to the admin because they will determine whether or not I can publish my
Yeah, of course.
right? But I also had to liaise with the students, because at the end of the day, it's their issue.
Yeah, true.
You know? Yeah. So when I was editor-in-chief of the magazine, it was constantly like, I think my magazine teacher advisor, Miss Anusha, her name was Miss Anusha, her tempat became my second home. Like actually, you know how when you first arrive at school, the first place you will go to is your class. The first place I will go to is her table.
Oh.
Like I would get another copy, I would study another copy of the magazine, and then I would like give her feedback, and then she would tell me what the admin wants, and then I would ask my friends, survey the students, what do you want in your issue, and then that just sort of culminated into the issue that I eventually produced with my co-editor. Yeah, so that really shaped me as a person, and that was really when it clicked in my head, like, oh, I really, really want to amplify people's voices. Because a lot of the things that I get myself involved with, all of them involve voice, both figuratively and literally, you know, like drama, choral speaking, okay lah, like that's voice, like you have to intonate, act out. But then there's things like writing,
Yeah.
you know, like magazine, zine, Nana's Press, like all of these, like I take what students say and I allow them a platform for them to say it. You know?
Very good.
Yeah, that's what I really want to achieve at the end of the day. Like everyone is given a voice for a reason. Everyone has a voice for a reason. Like everyone has a voice box for a reason, right? They just don't have the proper platform for it, or they're not conveying it to the right people to be heard. That's my goal at the end of the day. Yeah.
And maybe they don't even have the courage to say it out loud.
Yeah.
So by having a medium, they can spread it to the world.
Express their feelings lah.
Yeah, true. So like, can we move on to your experience in KY?
Yeah, of course.
So KY, top college, how do you feel?
Top college.
On peak.
I think so.
KY has been interesting.
Interesting.
KY, honestly, I was not the same person I was when I entered KY. Like if I had told you, I would rather sit in my room and not talk to anyone before I entered KY. I don't know, like KY really truly, I think it changed me in a way where now I'm more open to discourse, now I'm more open to discussion. Now I talk more freely with people, now I can engage better with people, I can socialize more. And like before I entered KY, my view of the world was really, I don't want to say narrow, but now it's much wider lah. Because I actually talk to different people who are from different backgrounds. I actually am exposed to like a lot of different things. I attend different events that really change my perception of the world. So I think KY, alhamdulillah, it's a privilege for me to be able to attend this institution. And I also started doing sports in KY. Like now, I'm not the best. I'm not LeBron. I'm not like or like I'm not like Dato' Nicole and David. But like now I play things like squash, basketball, or at least I attempt to lah. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I see.
Like yeah. So now that I'm at the KY, I can actually like move around, do sports, whatnot, and I can talk to different people every day. And like all the classes I attend to are really interesting. Like my combo is history, geography, literature, and marine science.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, all of these subjects require, well, except with the exception of marine science, all of these subjects require discourse. They require discussions.
True.
Like I
Very
think
true.
in history, I talk more than I write more.
Oh,
Yeah.
I see.
So I think it's things like this that really, that's kind of like what I like about KY. That's changed me. Yeah.
So what course are you planning to further your studies in?
My course is history and journalism.
History and journalism. Wow,
Yeah.
that's actually quite right.
Interesting,
Yeah.
interesting. So like, wait, what was I saying about? So talking about your experience learning something new in KY, right? So is it because like people here are more supportive compared to before? Or is it the other way? Or like any other reasons why you're able to pick up more things in KY compared to before?
Oh, yeah, that's actually a really good question. I found that the community here really is supportive. I remember this one instance where I went to the squash court and it was empty, and I went there with the intention of teaching myself how to play squash.
I see.
So I was like, and I was so bad at it. I was like, the ball, like, you know how squash, like, you had to hit the ball on the wall? Like, the ball would hit the wall and immediately fall to the ground.
Yeah.
And I couldn't hit the ball back. And then I would be like, well, this defeats the whole purpose of squash.
True.
And then I tried to play against myself and it wouldn't work, and I was getting frustrated. And then I looked behind and then I see this one senior who's waving at me. And then he enters and he's like, "Do you want me to teach you how to play?" And I was like, "What?" I was like really, like, actually, like, out of genuine interest, like, not because you have like an ulterior motive, like, because you actually want to teach me. And he was like, yeah, sure. And I was like, okay, yeah, like okay.
Oh, now, you know?
Yeah.
It's very good.
And that was my first introduction to squash. And
Oh.
now, well, I'm not a good player, but at least I know how to play.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Still. So, like, those kind of moments that really surprise even us, right?
Yeah.
In here, like, the fact that we get this amount of support from the RCU to do this kind of podcast,
from
like,
the SS,
oh, wow.
Give us this venue.
Yeah.
This is a lot of expensive equipment, isn't it?
Yeah, true.
For them to just give it to us and trust us that it's not going to go.
We don't even have like any solid portfolio that we have done this before, right?
True.
So-
So it doesn't miss how the career community is as supportive. And
True, very true.
And I also want to highlight that. I said I didn't really want to talk about this, but I do want to extend my gratitude to everyone who has supported me. Can I look at the camera?
Yeah, sure.
Thank you for supporting KY Coffee Club. Like, actually, it was insane. I remember starting it with the intention that I like coffee, and I know people here like coffee, so I'm going to sell coffee. But the traction that I received, I think what shocked me the most was, so I sold during Bubble Picnic. The amount of orders I got and the amount of people who bought from me from Bubble itself was crazy, considering that it was just my debut. And then I took a long hiatus because, like, it was so tiring. After Bubble, I was so tired and I had to focus on my studies and and yeah, so I just could not figure out a system where I could sell every day. And then I think recently there was the Initiative Carnival, right? So during the Initiative Carnival, I thought like 4 people would come to my booth because it had been so long, and my only promo was a TikTok video that I filmed right after I woke up at 6 p.m. Like, that's the only promo. But then, like, so many people came.
True.
So many people bought, and I was like, I'm really lucky to be surrounded by this group of people who actually like pay attention, who actually come to the carnival and who support like other people's booth as well, not just mine. And it's just like these little tiny moments that I'm like, I kind of like KY. You know, like it's pretty cool. Yeah.
Only the brightest mind here, right? So they know like how to interact with people properly, and because like we're in a very close space.
yeah.
So like
Don't really
we're
have anyone else.
yeah, so it's best for us to be kind to others.
Yeah.
Because we're going to see them like maybe 90% of the time, right?
Like even and we go overseas, probably the same faces as well.
Maybe in LFC and everything. Everyone here is very good.
Yeah.
So, can you tell us about a single moment during your time in KY that you realized that I need to step up and run for student council and specifically the president lah. So, what was the moment?
The moment. There was not one single moment. To me, personally, it was just like an amalgamation of different things that sort of like boiled down to me being like, something has to change.
I see.
Yeah. And it's not just like things I've experienced, but also things that people tell me. So, like, when I want to do laundry in the weekends, I have to lug a bag all the way to
Oh,
the cafe.
man, that sucks.
Like, I'm sure you guys
That sucks,
know too,
yeah.
right? Yeah, like lug my bag all the way to the cafe, and it's tiring, and it's like 2 p.m. and I just had lunch and all I want to do is sleep, you know? Or it's something like my friend coming up to me.
Bro, so everything okay now?
Okay.
Alright.
Alright, thanks.
So back to the question.
Yeah.
So during the application for the student council, how was the process in general? Were there any setbacks or anything? Can you tell us a little bit more?
I think the process was pretty smooth. All I had to do was get endorsements from my teachers, my seniors and my juniors. My peers.
Oh, yes.
My peers are like junior endorsements. And my tutor. I think it was pretty smooth. Not too much of a hassle. It's just that when I approached the teachers especially, I felt like it was better if I like actually approached them face to face instead of just
Only text to them. Right?
yeah. But yeah, it was okay.
Oh, okay lah.
Okay.
So far, like we interviewed everyone, it seems okay lah, the process. But need some improvisation later on in next year. So moving on to we don't call it deep dive, we could just call it a shallow dip.
A dip.
A dip a shallow dip on your manifesto. So can you briefly explain it? You know.
Briefly, okay. I don't want to reveal too much. That is going to be on Manifesto Night. But there are prevalent issues that I am aiming to tackle in my manifesto. Which issue should I choose? One of them might or might not include laundry.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying. Yeah.
I mean, it's a major issue right now, right? About laundry, that because we use it every day. So I think you guys should check this out. You know, check this out. Check her. Make sure to pull up during the Manifesto Night.
Yep.
So I think let's move on to the final segment.
Yep.
This is, before we wrap up, this is your chance to speak directly to the voters. And if students want to remember just one thing from this episode, what should it be? So this is your chance to talk directly to the voters.
The big camera over there.
Yeah.
So me, 7 by the way.
Hi again. I'll reintroduce myself. My name is Lubna SHARIF, and I'm running to be your student council president. I would say when you vote later, truly look at the manifesto everyone has presented. And in order to vote for the manifesto, you have to listen to the manifesto. So don't just listen to mine, listen to all of my other contestants who are just as exceptional and just as amazing. I really would like to amplify your voice. My main goal at the end of the day, should you choose me for president, is to make sure your voices are heard and to come up with the most realistic, the most tangible, yet the most productive solutions that can actually be implemented in KY short-term or long-term. At the end of the day, this is supposed to be a healthy, friendly competition. So I would say, don't spark anything up, don't start anything, and truly listen to not just my manifesto, but all of the other candidates' manifestos, and make an informed decision. Think of what's best for you and your peers. Should you cast your vote for me, I will be very appreciative and very thankful. But should you not, it's fine. And happy election night! Happy manifesto night!
It's around the corner, right?
Yeah.
So soon.
So that's a wrap for today's episode, actually, for Brief Departure. And thank you, Lubna, for joining us and sharing our vision to the whole KY community.
And as always, to our listeners, make sure that you pull up to the Grad Hall on the 21st or 20th of February and make sure that you guys listen to the manifestos that the candidates have to present. Remember, you're not only choosing a candidate, we are choosing a manifesto, a vision, and the future of KYUM.
Stay tuned for next
Season? Maybe? I don't know, but I think the future of Brief Departure is gonna be bright.
Inshallah.
But until next time, that's the end of episode 7.
Episode 8.
Episode 8.
Yeah.
And that's the end of season 1 of Brief Departure. Until next time, goodbye.